There he is, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, 40, the only human to emerge alive from the flames of Flight 171. Just seconds earlier, a Boeing 787-8 lurches violently, plummets into a hostel, explodes, and yet he walks away. Why him? Why did every other soul aboard perish in this inferno, yet he survived? June 12, 2025. A routine international flight readies for departure from Ahmedabad, India. Air India Flight 171, a Boeing 787-8, carrying 230 passengers and 12 crew on board. Among them, families returning to work, loved ones scattered globally, and medical students poised to make plans for tomorrow. At 13:38 Indian Standard Time, Flight Air India 171 begins its takeoff roll down the 3.5-kilometer runway at Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. Security footage shows the jet lumbering forward, but something seems off. Engines appear to struggle as the aircraft finally lifts off into the hot Gujarati sky. "36 seconds after liftoff, at barely 400 to 500 feet altitude, the cockpit voice recorder picks up a chilling distress call.
Mayday, mayday, no power, no thrust.
The audio reverberates with urgency as alarms sound and pilots grapple with a catastrophic failure. Investigators believe both General Electric Gen X engines failed, a rare dual-engine thrust loss, so shortly after takeoff that the plane was unable to climb. Compounding matters, the landing gear remained deployed, drastically increasing aerodynamic drag. In an almost instantaneous turn of events, the Dreamliner hissed, stalled, and then dropped toward ground, a fiery descent into a densely populated residential and educational area. At approximately 13:39 Indian Standard Time, the aircraft plummets into the hostel block of BJ Medical College in the Magani Nagar neighborhood. The impact erupts into a massive fireball, engulfing the structure and sending thick black smoke billowing into the air. The death toll is staggering. 241 lives lost aboard, including passengers and crew, plus at least 38 confirmed casualties on the ground. Hundreds more were injured, and the surrounding neighborhood was plunged into chaos. In the midst of horrifying devastation, a single miracle emerged. Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, a 40-year-old British Indian seated in 11A beside an emergency exit, survived. Flames char the fuselage around him, but he calmly exited the wreckage, phone in hand, and walked away on his own. Ramesh's survival has stunned onlookers and international audiences. Ireland's Daily Beast captured the surreal moment he emerged unscathed from the inferno, and his own brother later described his escape as a miracle. But amid hope, grief spreads. Among the victims was Abdi Patel, a devoted mother who feared leaving her young son on the trip and confided to a friend just hours before that she didn't want to go. Entire families were lost. British nationals Akhil Nanabawa, his wife Hannah Varaji, and their 4-year-old daughter Sarah perished together. Radiologist Dr. Pratik Joshi traveled in hopes of caring for family before catastrophe struck. One of the most tragic stories involved Arjun Patolia, who had scattered his late wife's ashes earlier that day, only to lose his life and leave behind 2 young orphaned daughters. Emergency crews rushed to the scene, facing a blazing wreckage and the chaotic collapse of a medical college block. Identification of victims became extremely difficult due to the intensity of the post-impact fire. As of June 16th, authorities reported 86 bodies were identified via DNA, with 38 formally handed over to grieving families. In the immediate aftermath, investigators recovered the flight data recorder within 28 hours and the cockpit voice recorder shortly thereafter, 2 vital black boxes containing the keys to understanding what happened. Analysis reveals that the pilots issued a Mayday after thrust was lost 36 seconds post-takeoff, suggesting a sudden and total loss of engine power. Agencies worldwide, including India's AAIB, the US NTSB, the FAA, and Britain's AAIB, are co-investigating. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation has ordered urgent inspections of all Boeing 787 aircraft in India, focusing on fuel systems, engine controls, flaps, landing gear, and possible bird strikes. Boeing has withdrawn from the Paris Air Show, and Air India has grounded its entire Dreamliner fleet pending inspections. The crash marks the first hull loss with fatalities involving a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, shaking confidence in a widely trusted aircraft. Air India's chairman, N. Chandrasekaran, called it the most heartbreaking crisis in the airline's history and expressed anguish on behalf of the airline and its global employees. National leaders, including Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, offered condolences and visited the crash site. International airlines and aviation authorities have issued warnings and imposed precautionary groundings during this sensitive period. As investigations continue, priority is being given to determining the root cause, whether mechanical failure, maintenance oversight, software glitch, pilot response, or multiple contributing factors. In the interim, Air India and global airlines have heightened inspections, especially of Boeing 787 aircraft, covering engine health, fuel lines, fin architecture, and cockpit warning systems. Air India Flight 171 will be remembered not only for the unprecedented hull loss of a Boeing 787, but for the staggering human toll. Nearly 280 lives extinguished, dozens more shattered on the ground, and a community and industry left shaken. Yet amid heartbreak stands a single survivor, mirroring hope and resilience. Investigators combing through data, families seeking closure, and the aviation world united in a mission to ensure this never happens again. For the victims, for the survivor, for every flight yet to come, this is a tragedy born in the skies, a reckoning in the halls of aviation safety. We owe nothing less than truth, reform, and remembrance. If you found this story compelling, if you believe in uncovering the deeper layers behind every headline, consider subscribing. Here, we don't just tell stories, we chase the truth, we honor the forgotten, and we remember the moments the world tried to move past too quickly. Subscribe for more untold stories, aviation mysteries, and powerful journeys that deserve to be heard.